Double Jump Gaming reacts.
Hello everyone, welcome to Double Jump Reacts Week 3, our bi-weekly podcast. We have missed a couple weeks there, but we are back at it, talking about a bunch of different things. My name is Jason.
I'm Ben. I'm Northern.
Andrew.
I'm Jonah.
And today we're going to talk about Call of Duty, Mortal Kombat, VR. We're going to get into detail with a bunch of those things, so we will have Andrew start us off with the first time.
Okay, so we are going to talk about Call of Duty, the classic, and where it is kind of now. So it is a first and multi-person shooter game. Call of Duty 1 came out in 2003. The consoles that it came out for, it's just yesterday. PC, Xbox, PS3, maybe PS2.
PS2.
Yeah.
I mean, 2003.
Right. It was developed by Infinity Ward and Activision. The first one was based around World War II. It was gritty realism, acting as citizen soldiers and unsung heroes with allying countries to win the battle. That's where it kind of that was the first one. And then one of the major landmarks was Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare. It came out November 5th, 2007. Also, it's been remastered. The consoles were Xbox 360, PS3, Mac, and Wii. Maybe early conception of a Wii, but it probably when the remaster probably came around.
Yeah,
It was probably on the Wii.
Or Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. It was first in the series to break away from World War II to the modern era. This came with additional additions of modern weapons and equipment features. The multiplayer featured new game mode called Hardcore, where the player's health would go from 100 to 30, as well as safety features turned off. There was a friendly fire and status bar. They also had class customization, perks, and a ranking system were established. The more experience gained by the player, it would unlock more classes until level 55, where Prestige mode was unlocked for complete character customization. And then there's like Black Ops 4 that just came out in October of last year, in 2018. So according to Xbox News, the new features were Blackout mode. We have like Battle Royale mode, Last Man Standing is the winner, and then there were bigger maps. It was a return to grittier mentality versus the use of rocket boots, which I think was in Modern Warfare. They had that.
I think it was Advanced Warfare.
Oh, yeah, no, it was Advanced.
Okay, Advanced.
Yeah, because Advanced
Right.
Warfare.
They gave higher health. They went from 100 to 150. However, they had no auto healing. Manual healing is the alternative option, and there's just more zombies on different maps. So that's what like factoids I had. A question I posed was, do you think the realistic shooter games like Call of Duty are the reason behind violent video games' reputation, or are they just stereotyped as the cause?
I mean, the whole violent video game thing started back with like the original Mortal Kombat and games like Night Trap.
Okay.
Like those were the things that like got the ESRB like started in the first place, and then Call of Duty came out. I don't know how much later, but
Yeah.
no, violent video games or video games causing violence or whatever has been going on for
I think ever since their
much longer
inception.
time.
Yeah.
I think like any game where you're killing someone could probably like
Yeah.
be a cause of like violent actions or
Yeah.
be attributed to that.
Yeah.
Right, I just don't think it's not going to be the sole contributor. Like, there has to be a multitude of other things going on, I think. I know when I was a kid, Halo was a really big thing with this, and I remember like friends' moms were like, oh no, you can't play Halo, like that's, here's like studies about like, violent video games and things like that. So it was a big deal like when it first started with the whole like MA ratings and stuff.
But like, does the realism of like being a soldier and like being in battle like affect anything as far as like the character, the story?
I don't think so, because like, I mean, all of the situations it's all situational. It's like you can ask whoever you want about it, and they'll all give you different ideas. But like, when it comes to like this kind of subject, I feel like the mentality that you start off having about it is the one that you're gonna keep, because like like, you can read as many articles as you want, but at the same time, like, if you go onto Google, you can find anything that'll support whatever opinion you have. Like, it doesn't matter if you're like, oh man, I think the Earth is flat, and here are all the
Here's some Google
articles
images
that are like, this is why I'm right. It's like, you can go online and find whatever you want to support your article or to support your argument, no matter what. So like, I feel like people are always there's always gonna be like two sides to it. There's gonna be the side that's like, no, you guys
the
are idiots,
haters
and then
and
there's
the good people.
yeah, more or less. But no matter what, and especially like as video games continue to get more and more quote unquote realistic, like I'm sure that's only going to strengthen their argument somehow. But no, it's been around for a long time, and it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Does anybody have any experience with Call of Duty? You want to share a story or something that happened?
I mean, my brother got it for his like 14th birthday, and I was like 9, and my dad let me play it. And then I got it for like my own birthday. I got my own Xbox like the year later when I was like 10. So I've been playing Call of Duty for like 11 years, and I don't think it causes any issues. But like I think it just depends on. It depends on, you know, like you have to make. I think parents have to make sure like, hey, if this is a video game, like if a kid ever like doesn't think it is, then yeah, that's an issue. But you know, I think most people realize that it's just a game, just like it's just a movie or whatever. So you know, it's not real life.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting for me when I first played Call of Duty because my brother first got into it, and then like he sort of like gave me each game. Like I started with Call of Duty 2, finished that. Then he gave me Call of Duty 3, finished that. Then Call of Duty 4, and I kind of got to see the series evolve from like each game to each game, and I kind of slowly worked my way. I think at that point like it was all the way up to Modern Warfare 2 had been released was the latest. So I kind of played my way all the way up to that. It was kind of cool just seeing like how the animation improved, how the technology improved, how it came less clunky, and like I think in Call of Duty 2 you couldn't like, oh no, you could go prone. For some reason I thought you couldn't go prone in one of them.
One of them, the first one, I don't think you could.
Yeah, or no, you could, because remember I like went back and played that a long time ago, and it was
Maybe you're thinking Medal of Honor.
yeah. Honestly, maybe Call of Duty.
Whatever happened to Medal of Honor?
Didn't they reboot it like a couple years ago?
Yeah, it was rebooted. It was rebooted.
I remember playing like.
It was like
yeah,
it was like
PS2
Medal of
days,
Honor
yeah.
Warfighter was like the reboot or something.
Yeah, wasn't that might have been like 5?
Because that was like their direct competition, right?
Yeah, and then Battlefield.
And then
Yeah, and then Battlefield because it got so like it looked like a movie, so I think that's why people wanted to play it because it looked so good.
Yeah, and so that was my experience with Call of Duty, just like how the series improved and like go from World War II to modern, and I mean it always had that over the top. It's like over the top real. You can't ever really call Call of Duty realistic because of all the over the top stuff that happens in it sometimes, but like you know it attempts to be realistic in like most cases, which is it just over the top situations would probably be a better way of saying that.
How do you think this game holds up over time and as it evolves? Like, do you think it still holds up as they keep improving?
Honestly, I kind of stopped playing after Black Ops just because I got sick of the series. So, I mean, if it does, it's just like if people still enjoy it, I just kind of wish they would stop doing it annually and just like maybe do it like once every 2 years.
Yeah,
because that way it wouldn't get like old. That's what the problem was for me. It's just it got old and I got used to it, and I'm like, okay, I need a break from this. So it just go to like bi-yearly. Then I'd probably like the moment they stop doing it every year, I'll be like, okay, now I'm interested.
Right. Yeah, and put more quality into it because I know like I remember 4 and 5. And then Modern Warfare 2 after that, after 5, they were all like amazing games. And then after that, Black Ops was good too. But then after that, they all started to go downhill. And I think maybe because like the technology jumped from around that time, like the graphics just kept getting better and the play get better. But then after that kind of settled down, I think people got, like you said, bored of just a game coming out every year. And it really got to a down point after like Advanced Warfare when they had like the jetpack boots and stuff you're talking about. But now it's like people are starting to play a little more again, but it'd be nice if they didn't do something every year and just take their time, like Battlefield or things like that.
Well, yeah, now Battlefield is like every year now. It's like it pretty much is at this point because, or like sort of, because if you include the Battlefront games, Star Wars Battlefront games, it's almost every year because it's made by the same company.
I didn't.
Yeah,
Dice.
Dice is working on both Battlefield and Battlefront 2, so they've had no breaks, which is why their games haven't been getting good recently. Like with Battlefield 5, I know a lot of people didn't like it, and then that's because they basically haven't had a lot of time. Like I haven't done all my research on this, so take this with a grain of salt. From what I've heard, DICE is kind of working on a skeleton crew because they've been working them to the bone. Like, not really giving them breaks or giving them enough time to put quality in their games. So
interesting.
And that kind of was led to the so you probably heard about there's women in World War II with the Battlefield 5 and how people got upset about that. Yeah, so that wasn't handled delicately because they didn't really have the time to have maybe we shouldn't show this, or have better PR on that. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
And it's EA as well, so.
I didn't know that what was the most recent Star Wars Battlefront that came out? Was that just Battlefront
2?
It was 2, but it's kind of like
a remaster.
Remastering and bring it up to modern standards. Yeah.
But I heard they got horrible reviews. I played it.
Yeah,
I played it, and I'm like, this is awful. Why did I so the B button, the crouch, is also your dodge button for whatever reason, and there's just so many things wrong with that game. In the story mode, I'm like, I'm glad it's here. I just wish it was better because you're hardcore Imperial elite stormtrooper, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know what? I don't believe in my cause anymore. Let's go help the rebels now. I was like, okay. I mean, there's a good reason for that, but still.
Yeah.
You'd think it would be a little less, it would be subtle.
Right.
Not one mission later. Okay, here we are.
Oh.
It was pretty much what that. It was one mission later. Or you spent the SpongeBob stuff, one mission later. I betrayed the Empire!
Yeah, the old ones were so fun.
Yeah, I remember playing on the PS2. Mm-hmm. Those were some days.
It was a lot of fun, so I was surprised that this one didn't do well, but maybe it's just because they just got too much going on.
And EA is just greedy, so.
Yeah, the microtransactions when people forget.
Actually, the funny thing was, I started playing Battlefront 2 when they removed the microtransactions. I'm like, how do I customize? Where is that? The UI is terrible. I couldn't find where the customization was. I'm like, and I still don't know where it is.
Oh.
I'm like, wait, how do you customize your soldier or do anything for customization of classes? I'm like, is that not a thing?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and the worst map, I remember this in particular. So, they had this map pack released with the Force Awakens, or was it not Force Awakens?
Or Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. So they had the crate map. That map in the Battlefront 2 was god awful. If you're a defender, you can't do anything to stop them. In the first phase, you can't do anything to stop the Imperial troops. So I literally just put down my controller, got something to eat, came back, and of course nothing had changed. It was it happened every single time. You would lose the first phase. It was scripted. There's nothing you could do. I'm like, okay, well I know I'm gonna lose the first phase, so let's just chill, put my feet up, contemplate, why I'm continuing to play this game.
That's funny.
Do you guys have a favorite weapon when you're playing Call of Duty? Like your go-to, or is it just whatever situation calls for?
I would always go for the weapon that had the coolest sound, which I think it was the AK-47 in Modern Warfare.
Yeah, I like the AK-47 also.
I was gonna say probably the MP5 was I don't know if you guys
did it have a cool sound?
Yeah.
Okay, then I agree with your statement.
Yeah, it did. That was a lot of fun. The campaign was also really good in that game.
Yeah,
too.
It was.
Very it's just really good story.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I like that.
Does that still make a game stand out versus some of the games in the series? The stories get better or worse?
I think so because I think that one in Modern Warfare 2 just had great stories, just as far as actually telling a story through dialogue, things like that, and then after that it became kind of less about that. So I stopped playing the story modes after that.
Yeah, and then they got rid of you know what? Let's get rid of story mode. Wait, no.
Yeah, the few people that actually cared at that point, right? Because everybody was so obsessed with. Because the multiplayer because 3 obviously with the original, I think it was on the original Xbox.
And actually, so the first Call of Duty game to come out on the Xbox 360 was Call of Duty 2.
Okay, so there was multiplayer on the.
It was multiplayer in Call of Duty 2. I don't know how good it was, but it was there.
But then it got really good on 4, and that's what it blew up the game, and everybody started playing because I think just maybe the servers just had good connectivity. Although that was when one person would host the server. So like if they left the game, then the game just ended.
Oh, that's terrible.
Migrating host.
It was before even migrating host. It was just like if someone left the game, it just ended the match. It would just be like the host left the game, and everybody playing online just was done.
Yeah, they still. I don't think even the most recent ones. I think Black Ops 4 does have direct servers.
It does. It is dedicated.
Yeah, but I think that was the first game to have direct dedicated servers because I know for a fact Advanced Warfare didn't.
Yeah, it seems silly to not.
It's like, why don't you?
Right. Because you're basically relying on somebody's internet connection.
Yeah, that too. And the internet's not perfect. Or the Wi-Fi's not perfect.
My house, my home, the Wi-Fi at my home is awful. Yeah. So it's like I want better Wi-Fi because I'm like, I'm in AGD and like I want to do stuff with games. I'm like, I cannot work with this Wi-Fi.
Right.
Every time I come home, I'm like, the Wi-Fi is still bad. I'm like, my mom's like, yeah, I love you too.
If you guys were to see this game continue on, what would you see seem do differently with it or continue to improve upon or something going forward?
I would say definitely not every year, not a release every year, and then I'd like to see them like not try to go too far into the future because I feel like that's kind of like that gets old quick when they try to like predict moon boots or whatever. I think
boots.
We'll go fight on the moon.
Right. I think
moon warfare.
Yeah, I think that gets too. I think it would be better to stick with like past stuff or current era.
Okay.
I'm going to speak for my brother here. He would probably want, if he were here, to be Vietnam, because he likes Vietnam and that era in general, and just to have because Call of Duty hasn't had a dedicated story to that. They did Black Ops, but there was only a few missions for that. It was more about the Cold War in general rather than Vietnam.
Or like that 10-year span.
Yeah, and this would obviously more of the focus on a Marine or something like that rather than a special agent who has flashbacks or whatever, and it's like people just shout Mason at him for no reason.
Right.
Mason!
I remember that. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about the game. I don't know if anybody else has anything else to add, but that's.
And I do kind of agree with that, but at some point I would like them, just as a personal thing, for no not as a fanboy or anything. It's just I would like to have them do mech suits at some point, or have this a Call of Duty, where it's to see them kind of attempt if you're a boots on the ground soldier, how would you take on a mech, and have that more
What's that?
Do they have vehicles in there?
No, they don't have mech suit a giant robot from Japan.
Oh, we already got Titanfall 2 or Titanfall 2.
Yeah, but I mean,
So they don't have vehicles?
True. No, they don't have. They have scripted sections where you get into vehicles in the story mode. Actually, in Blackout they do. In the Black Ops 4. In that specific mode there are, but I think that's again right through game game evolving right here is we have vehicles, you can drive them, and it's not a scripted thing anymore.
Yeah, that Battle Royale version from Black Ops 4 is pretty fun, which that was a good way to actually change up the game because that way if you get bored of multiplayer you can play
it didn't even have a single player.
Every time.
Okay.
Right.
It didn't have a single player. We're gonna take it out.
Yeah.
And it didn't give you more zombies, which I'm still would like to.
Did zombies help improve that game?
It's the most convoluted thing to under. Yeah.
In the new Black Ops, there's zombies on the Titanic.
Yeah.
Oh, a new DLC.
I don't.
No, so the game released with 3 zombies maps. If they do have DLC zombies, I don't know.
Oh wait, so it comes with one on.
It came with 3. It came with 3. That was the big thing. It came with 3. It was Gladiators in Rome, the Titanic, and then the third one was kind of the characters from World at War. And God, the zombie storyline is so convoluted. It's what? There's a meteor. There's alternate dimensions.
I feel like there's just not a storyline, but they keep on
They insist there is.
Yeah, they're just guys, don't worry. There's this huge overarching story. Keep building up hype and play our game, please. Please play our game.
I want to understand what's going on. Why is there a girl with a teddy bear?
I gave up trying to figure out what the hell the story was with Black Ops 2. And they were just going through, there's this crazy guy, and there's the black guy that lost his memory, and then there's the country girl and the smart guy, and it's just I don't care. Just let me play the game.
Yeah, let me shoot zombies.
Zombies was always my favorite part
I enjoyed it.
Call of Duty, just because, it's so different, and you don't gotta worry about people shooting you. It's so much easier. And plus, I don't know.
Especially more people are more dedicated to it, whereas you might have bad teammates.
Yeah, that was
Because,
always the
I mean,
thing
with
is-
zombies, like, yeah, you might get a bad teammate, but for the most part, if they're going to play it, they're probably going to be dedicated to the cause. And
And
like,
plus, split screen was just always so much fun. Just like being like, hey,
Oh, the
let's
split screen days.
I mean,
Shit
I,
was so
so I know like people might miss split screen, but being visually impaired, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of like
But
like
it was also
playing-
a pain. I know split screen was a pain.
Because it's like it made it smaller, so it's like
Yeah.
especially with my visual impairment, it's like I'll just take turns. You play a match and I'll play a match, or like we can play an Xbox Live.
Right, I suppose that would be pretty challenging.
And they ruined it with Black Ops 4.
They have split screen.
Zombies, for like zombies and stuff.
Oh.
They
Oh.
ruined it because it like crops in. So there's letterboxing on the side of the screen. So it, like, everything is shrinked. So it's just terrible. You can't read. Even like I have perfect vision, no problems. I can't even read like what my score is, like how much ammo. I just can't. Even if I'm playing on a bigger TV, it's just too hard to see. So
God, just get a bigger TV. God.
yeah, you have to get like twice the size.
It's
TV to
clearly
get,
the way
like,
it's
a-
Just
supposed to
go
be
to a
played.
movie theater, use their screen, and
Get
just do it.
rich.
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea because no other Call of Duties cropped, but for some reason they did this weird. They did it with Black Ops 3 as well.
I think they also did
This
with
weird
Black
cropping
Ops.
thing. I don't. Yeah, they did it with all the Black Ops games, but not the other ones. For some reason they
Damn
cropped
Treyarch.
on split screen. I don't know why. There's the weird. I looked for a solution, but it was super frustrating because you wanted to play with friends, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
this is pretty hard to play.
So there's a lot of room to improve still.
Yeah.
There's room to.
Yeah, again, take that year off. Then I will get excited and be like, oh my God, they're taking a year off and they're actually going to put more effort into it. Thank you.
Well, just because they take a year off doesn't mean they're gonna put.
Well,
more
I mean,
effort
it's
into
going to
it.
always improve something.
Or they'll just, oh, hey, we have a year off. Let's book something else.
And then, like, they do what Assassin's Creed did. It's like, okay, we're going to release a movie instead.
Oh, God. Well, there's that.
Because remember they did that? It's like, oh yeah, we're taking a year off, but we're going to release a movie. So, because we still need to make that money. I mean, it's like, okay.
Right. Okay.
Can't win them
Now, we're going to do a segue.
Good segue. Great transition.
Yeah, thank you. To our retro game, which is Mortal Kombat. The first release of Mortal Kombat was October 8th, 1992, a day before this guy's birthday. Ooh, okay. Well, from a year from that, so it's 26 years and a day old. So something like 26 years. It was originally developed by Midway Games in Chicago, repping that Midwest. It was inspired by the Street Fighter series. It still is a two-player arcade fighting game. It's best of 3 rounds. The first game used digitalized photorealistic fighters, so they would just like scan their images in. That was
Oh.
super cool. Yeah, they came up with costumes and everything.
Yeah, it was the first game.
I
they
thought
ever did that.
wait,
Yeah.
I thought they
Yeah, that
used
was pretty big.
sprites.
That was pretty.
No, they digitized
Huh.
people. That's. I think that's why it was like so memorable. Is just because it was the first game to
That-
just like take people just like doing all the awkward animations. And then they're just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
God, and that also like I heard they pushed really hard. Like apparently there was Mortal Kombat musical and like even a training like one of the people.
Oh, there was yeah.
There's like a bunch of stuff that came out with it. Like they pushed it super hard.
Oh yeah. Then the big thing was after a character got defeated, it gives the winner the option for a few seconds for a fatality special move, which is a over-the-top gruesome killing move. The reason for the fatality was to set itself apart from its competition for publicity purposes. Also, mid-air combat was also a huge innovation. It was the first game to release. It was the first game to have a release date countdown in the U.S., the U.K., Australia, called Mortal Monday. Some of the main characters that were featured, even though I wrote a bunch of others down, was Raiden, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Kano, Liu Kang, Goro. And then, like, over 26 years, the characters have just evolved, combat's gotten better, and they've even added special characters outside. They even had, like, DC Mortal Kombat versus DC. And then they added other characters like Kratos from God of War, Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street. Alien was in there, like the big alien. Leatherface.
From Alien.
Alien from Alien series.
Excuse me, it's the Xenomorph, okay?
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, that thing. Yeah. And then the kind of the story usually goes that there's a Mortal Kombat tournament. At least in the first one, it was defeat the evil sorcerer Shang Tsung. There's been 24 games in the franchise. The first one was just for arcade until Mortal Kombat Trilogy in 1996 on the PlayStation 1, PC, Sega, and Nintendo 64. There's been 2 movies that came out since then, and the Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Yeah, there was Armageddon and the second one. Don't ask
Were
me
any
what-
of them good?
They're okay. But for being retro, they were all right.
They're video game movies.
That
Yeah.
is perfect way.
Take that.
Angry Birds.
Yeah.
They just wait. Don't tell me that. Is that an actual movie? Please.
Angry Birds.
Yeah, they're coming
Yeah,
out.
there's
Second one.
there's the first and second one.
They actually made a lot of money off it. I think.
Yeah.
That's
Enough to make a
that's-
second
like,
one.
Please, you're making me sad.
Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't look horrible. It just looks like another kids movie. It's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna see that.
I know Warner gonna made a lot of money. It's like, oh, we don't care if it's bad or good.
Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff. That's come out with it. I have a lot of memories. This is kind of like I like fighting games. Just like one-on-one fighting games, you could. The story is usually pretty good, or at least enough to keep your contention. Just to keep up with it. And it also kind of inspired like other games like Soul Calibur and just other cool games like that. Tekken, yep, that was the other big one. Yeah, it's been a lot of
recently. Injustice.
Injustice. Yeah, that's the
Injustice
whole reason why like Justice League or DC versus Mortal Kombat that inspired Injustice, and now that's a whole thing. Now they even wrote comics on that. It's pretty cool. So if we didn't have Mortal Kombat, it would be kind of sad.
We wouldn't have evil Superman.
Yeah, evil Superman for sure.
Hail Superman!
So that was cool. I guess my question that I posed is, if you could have or see any character fight in Mortal Kombat, what would it be, and why? Any character, any franchise that's
Can it-
not on this list.
It would be absolutely ridiculous.
That's the point.
Oh, anyone? No.
Try to stick to one.
Oh.
Squirtle.
One or two. Which one?
Squirtle.
Squirtle. Oh, why would you want to see Squirtle fight?
That'd be funny.
I got one.
Would he be like small or like a real
Small.
small?
Oh, no, you guys got it all wrong. Condiment King. God.
Who's that?
An obscure DC villain who literally shoots ketchup and mustard. That's all he does.
Condiment King. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Condiment King.
Condiment King.
Yeah, he clearly he's the best choice. I mean, he shoots ketchup and mustard. Come on, and imagine his fatality. He just shoots a bunch of mustard at you. It's
Shoves it
like
down your
musturality.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, yeah.
Anybody else?
That
Who else
polka
has
dot
one?
man.
I would have to say the Scarlet Witch from the Marvel franchise.
Okay.
She's the most underrated and kind of like edgy outside of Marvel.
I mean, she
I'm
can
true.
warp- she
Like,
can warp
I know about her.
reality.
Warp
She can warp
reality.
reality.
Yeah, toss her right into that.
Is that different from Black Widow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the one that shoots like the red. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Elizabeth
yeah,
Olsen
about
plays her.
Yeah, I don't want to pay attention to Marvel movies either,
But-
but at least I know
Have
that.
you all seen Infinity War or care about it? If you
I haven't.
Yeah.
I have not seen a single
Oh, yeah.
Marvel
Oh,
movie
yeah.
since Iron Man 3.
So is that the one who shoots Thanos at the end or tries to save?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's the one that's like
Yeah.
the one powerful enough to destroy the Infinity Stone.
Yep, that was her. So in the
Except for
comics,
Captain.
she erases all like half the mutant population's powers. That she made a whole separate reality until like Professor Xavier
Reboot.
Wings, basically,
She made a reboot.
and a couple other characters. But,
That's
yeah.
something that's kind of interesting, very random, but the Scarlet Witch and her brother Quicksilver
Yep.
were portrayed differently in the X-Men series
Yep.
and the Marvel series.
Yeah.
So like now I feel like they really can't like merge because Quicksilver in the X-Men series was like an angsty teen who could run really fast
Yeah.
and like steal a bunch of things. And then in this one they're both like or like Russian, like.
Oh, a little bit, yeah. Like,
like
the
adult
island
kids.
from, yeah.
Is
I
it,
mean,
is it supposed to be like 2 different timelines or something? Or-
No.
They're completely.
Because they're
comic books
owned by
are
different
weird.
people.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
That's
like,
why.
the X-Men, he's like Quicksilver's American and like an American teen who like hangs out in the basement. And, like,
Plays video games,
plays video
so
games.
yeah.
Steals what he wants.
Yeah,
But
the 80s.
getting back to the Mortal Kombat stuff, since
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about how females were was presented in Mortal Kombat 9, because I was like, that was the first time I ever saw Mortal Kombat. I'm like, whoa, wait, what? She's special forces? Why is she dressed like that? That makes no sense.
Because the dude made the game.
I'm like,
Dude, you haven't played the first one.
Wait, is it worse? Because I mean,
Yeah, I mean it's digitized, so.
It's
I
like,
mean, it was
can't
the
imagine
innovator.
I
I
Yeah.
can't really imagine it was much worse, because it's like, because
And they did all the voiceovers themselves, and it was very DIY for sure.
I mean, that's an entire different topic. Like just how women were presented traditionally in games for the longest time until recently.
Again, it was dude in the basement.
Yeah, and how like, you know what? I'm gonna do this.
And people buy it because that's also a thing. But Mortal Kombat was also very cool. Really liked the fighting style and just how it progressed over the years. It gets a little bit better and a little more customization as it goes on. Like anything,
Honestly,
I want to play the new one, but I don't have the time to play it. But to each his life.
honestly, with like, I couldn't really get into Mortal Kombat because there's no tutorials. So like, all I end up doing is spamming buttons.
They have like just a free play mode, and you just sit
but
there and hit a guy.
I still don't know what, like, is there combos or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a
Fighting.
huge thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because or else I'm just gonna be standing there spamming buttons, and like, that's not.
Oh,
fun.
that you could also button mash too, and just like when they're in midair, and you just.
Like, is it fun to button mash though? Because that's the
Yes.
thing that's always kind of.
That's how I figure out all the combos.
Like
You just sit there and
I've
button
never
mash.
just like because I did that with like Soul Calibur, and it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
The only thing that really keeps me coming back to that franchise is the character creation.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
the combat just gets boring after a while. Because I'm like,
Yep.
okay, I'm just gonna mash buttons. Whoa. There's like no tact to it for me, and I'm like, I want to have a little
Right.
more
That's
strategy.
yeah.
Right, so that's why I've been traditionally avoided Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. I mean that is a big hole if you can find that glitch or that one move that you use on character and you just defeat the bosses like that. But it's part of fun too. Except for some people. On that note, we can probably, if anybody else has nothing else to add, we could segue to the last. We are going to virtual reality. Woo!
What's the virtual reality?
Well, it's defined, going into my notes, it's defined, the website Polygon defines it as the combination of computing power and optics to simulate a visual and auditory experience that seeks to fool the user into believing they're someplace else, replacing rather than enhancing it.
Wow.
It works.
Amazing.
My brother
Yeah, I've
has
done
the
VR.
The
Oh.
PlayStation VR, and that one's not. I mean, that one's not even that like super high quality. But there's one.
Yeah,
where, like,
for the first time, you're going, what?
there's one where you're swinging from like vines, and like I fell on the ground because like you just get your brain just gets tricked. Like it's a game, but like you like miss the vine. You're like
Your visual senses are just like, you are here. Like,
Right.
your eyes are like, you are here.
Right.
You will fall.
Right.
You will die.
So you're like trying to catch yourself, and
Or no, more likely your legs will break, and then you'll die.
it's a little disorientating for sure. I think if you play it for long enough, you kind of get like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, I gotta take this thing off for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I know, like, originally when VR was coming out, there were a lot of people that were complaining about, like, motion sickness and all that.
Yeah.
But from the sounds of it, is like, as it's improved and gone on, it sounds like it's not that big of a problem anymore.
I mean, I've used it, and I had no problem with that.
I know, like, when I was doing some research, so I compared the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, and at the very end, which I was, like, I'm a little confused and overwhelmed by it, but I think it's really interesting, is the Nintendo Labo. Is that how you pronounce it?
Labo.
It's very interesting to see what all the companies are kind of coming out with.
Does
Like,
Lavo? Oh, sorry.
yeah, go for it.
No, I was just wondering if does Lavo mean anything? or is it just like the
I
sound
think it's supposed to
fancy?
be like Nintendo Laboratory.
Yeah.
It's like all cardboard stuff that you can build yourself.
Oh, hold on. Oh, the cardboard thing with like the robot and the piano. Oh.
Yeah, and they're also coming out with like basically cardboard VR. So
Yes. So when I was doing research for it, we'll just start with that, with the Labo. So it's a VR system that has the switch for the display connected to the player. However, this is through either physically holding it or having a stand to hold it in place. It's made entirely of cardboard, except your switch. It was released, it is being released on April 4th or April 12th this year, 2019. It's inexpensive. It's only for the mini games. It's for $80 for all the subsets of products, or it's $40 for like the star set of last year. Like I've seen people like try using it. Literally, they have to hold it to their face. You got your whatever, your elephant trunk or your blaster or whatever you want to use for this VR, and you have to hold it to your face the whole time.
That sounds so tiring.
It does, yeah.
There's nothing
You
to
could
hold it?
probably make a strap, but I don't think there's no inherent strap.
What
From
were they
what I-
thinking?
There's
Like
no
an
strap.
add-on?
Wait, whoa, hold on. So this VR thing is not actually. It's just the Nintendo. Like it's just a little portable thing, and you have to hold it to your face.
Yeah.
Am I?
The Switch. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a cardboard box basically, and you basically have to press the switch up.
Yep,
against
you
it.
build
What
it.
are they thinking?
Yeah, you build it. I'll look up pictures.
Why
for you.
not make like a little like cage that goes around the switch that has a headband
Yeah.
on it? That you can
I don't know. I haven't seen much about it, but I mean, just knowing how VR works, I would assume there's something at least,
Yeah.
like
That doesn't
even if it's
sound
just
right.
like
'cause
even
that
if
does
it's
not
just a
sound
strap or something on the
Yeah.
sides, like
It's going for it as a budget-friendly option for the average family who doesn't have water issues to go ahead and try a VR.
Yeah, so yeah, the first time VR. Can we just hold this cardboard box that's holding the switch that I somehow have enough money for?
Well, PSVR is pretty inexpensive now. Like you
Right.
can buy Muse for like $200.
So literally, this is
PS4
what the gun looks
I
like.
can't really,
Oh.
visually impaired and all that. If it's on the iPhone, I can't really see that.
No.
It's not even really. That's
So
ridiculous.
literally, that's what it
I'll
kind
probably look
of.
up images of it
Well,
later.
so-
Yeah.
That's one. That's ridiculous. Two, if you're buying a Switch, all right. If you're doing VR, you want to do VR, don't buy a Switch for $300. Buy a PlayStation for $200, and buy the PlayStation VR for like $250.
Yeah.
And not have something you have to hold. Like
and plus
Like, here's the bird.
I mean, all right, I'll admit it's better than I thought it was, just because it at least has like the side blockers. Like
I know, can you see the bird or not?
Imagine it just being
It's
like
on a phone.
Oh,
like
sorry.
just
The
this,
guarantee,
and then there's
no.
stuff coming off of it.
It
But
looks like a toy you get from McDonald's.
Yeah.
yeah, kind of.
What's some of the other?
It's
like-
not as bad as
like-
I
it's
thought
like-
it would, but
It's like, what was Nintendo
Yeah.
thinking? He's like, you know what? We're gonna use cardboard. It's like, why?
because it's cheap and you can do whatever the hell you want with it. It's
Yeah, or
It's
this
meant-
is my favorite image of him just holding up
Yeah,
like the
That
box.
literally looks like a chicken nugget box.
It does. It totally does. Sorry, Nintendo, but it totally does.
And these products are made from recycled McDonald's.
Surprise, McDonald's is a sponsor.
Or the elephant trunk is also one of my favorites because it's literally you could be an elephant. You want to be an elephant?
That would
Yeah.
just,
Yeah,
imagine how
God.
long people would play.
You like
yeah.
And there's like video games that probably comes with it. And I don't
recycled
know,
material from 7-Eleven.
like how you probably downloaded it or what. I've never played.
I'm sure it
Switch, but
comes with it on like
package
a
or
little
something.
card or something, but like
Yeah.
knowing how the previous Labo games have been, I haven't played many of them personally. My friend like got it and he said it's good, but like, cause I mean he got it mostly for the piano, but like I can't imagine. I guess just like from what we've seen from the Labo so far, it's a cool concept. Like it's cardboard, and yeah, everyone makes fun of that, but it's like it's done because it's cheap.
Yeah.
Like you can get the box
I
of
get that
cardboard for
concept.
like $60 or whatever. But at the same time, like you still have to build everything yourself. It's made out of cardboard, so it's flimsy, and it's just like all of the mini games are like they're novelties. They're fun at first, but it's nothing that you're gonna really want to come back to over time. It's like
Yeah,
you'll
they're
play around with
gimmicks.
the piano for a bit. You'll go like, haha, and then that's it.
Right.
Go in the corner
I could see them like
and
targeting
collect dust.
like kids, maybe like 12 and under or something with it.
It's like it's a gimmick.
Yeah, but I'm excited to like see if they do like if they go further with it and like actually create.
Yeah,
even
depends
if it's
how it
just
sells,
like a full-on cardboard headset or something, because then Nintendo will have a full-on like VR experience. It'll be something that'll be able to compete with
The big boys.
Yeah, pretty much, and it'll be inexpensive because it's cardboard. It's not going to be like this setup where you got to put shit on the walls and like have sensors all around your room. It'll just be that, and
Yeah, you can pick up and play.
yeah.
Yeah.
And plus you've
So
already got
I
like
totally get that, yeah.
the Joy-Cons are already I don't know what the controllers are for the Vive and the whatever. Like they already have that. It's just the Joy-Cons, but in terms of where they're at right now, it's just a novelty. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Kind of moving away from like off topic a little bit, but still on topic. There's like a huge market right now for VR for like tourism or like not hospitality, but like when you go to a mall, you see like there's a bunch of like pay $25 to play this 5-minute VR game,
I've
or
seen
like
that.
in the Wisconsin Dells, there's like 5 new VR places where you can go and like pay an extreme amount of money to play like a 5-minute game that's like doesn't match up. So I think that's something that's interesting, is that they've kind of like
They're trying to branch it
into-
off, yeah.
Right, and it's not even like the games you would like, the on-brand games that you'd want to be playing. It's just like, go fly around this little like fake town for 5 minutes. You know?
Right,
And plus there's I don't remember how long ago it was, but it was the commercials of like just these two guys like sitting in their own homes with like some sort of VR things on, and they were just sitting at like a basketball game,
Yeah, that's
like in the headset. It's like, I think that's a neat idea, just because like now you no longer have to leave your house to go to whatever sort of sporting event or any kind of
yeah.
event. And it's just
Doesn't like YouTube have some sort of like VR experience? Like you can turn your
360?
for
VR.
certain videos, you
Yeah,
can
certain
do that.
videos you can do that.
360 camera or something.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's kind of neat.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's a little weird if on the iPad though, because it's like, okay, how do I get out of the video? Because it just thinks you're trying to move the
Oh
camera.
yeah, because it's like, oh, you gotta go. Wait, you gotta move it. You turn it like 180.
Yeah,
and that's about all you get.
it's very clunky.
Yeah, the panorama's cool. But,
Yeah.
So then the next step up is the Oculus Rift. It has, we're going, woo! This is $500 range versus $8. Oculus Rift, it has a headset, it has 2 sensors to track if you're standing up or sitting down, and then 2 controllers, like handheld. It gives you a 360 immersed environment. Controls are similar to traditional video game controllers, which a lot of people like, and it's portable friendly, so you can take it to people's houses better instead of like just having it like kind of stationary. What else did I have about it? Yeah, so it's a little bit better quality, obviously. I've heard the games are decent. Has anybody ever used an Oculus?
No, my brother just got one though, he said, so I'm gonna have to try it soon. But he said it's like he has to like upgrade his graphics processor. He has to,
Yeah,
like,
it's
I
all
don't know them
most
very
of
well.
the like the Oculus Rift and then the HTC. You always have to have like a computer or something
very
to enable.
high-end.
High end
You have
computer.
to have oh god, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like
You have to have like a PC or something?
yeah, and you're gonna
Yeah.
have to be constantly updating your graphics card because like at least
Oh,
every
yeah.
couple years, every 3 years, 4 years. Just,
For sure. Yeah, that's what I've read is like a lot of external equipment. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't wait for VR to actually be, affordable and like, like
Right.
when
Just
it comes
more
to
practical.
like when it's more practical for someone to buy it.
Right.
Because like at this point, it's like only people with a lot of money can play around
sure.
with that.
that's when it will really take off, I think, too.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to think of other video game type things that have been like that, where like it wasn't affordable, but then once it got cheap, like it took off.
I mean, that's a lot of technology in general. Is like
Yeah.
once it became like with cars, like only the rich could buy them,
Right.
and then like once it became affordable and practical, it's like
Right.
everyone could use them.
I remember like hearing, I don't think I've ever seen one, but like when they used to have like the VR things at like arcades and stuff.
Yeah, I remember
like
that.
I remember when that was huge, and now like I think back to like when arcades were huge.
Or like 3D, like the 3D experience.
Yeah, or, like,
yeah.
I'm hearing about this
3D,
one.
like at the arcade, they have one in Madison at the Geeks Mania.
I'm afraid to
It's
talk
like-
about 3D movies.
Like 3D. Well, I suppose in a way, but there's like 3D game, like arcade games.
I remember hearing about an old like arcade boxing game where there was like you walked into a box essentially, and then there were sensors all over the walls, and like you'd actually like dodge and weave the punches that were coming at you, and like your character would move like you did, and then you'd like punch back, and it would register all of it.
And you end up punching the wall.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool to see that like coming into like.
Oh yeah,
like because to go from, I mean, even if you were to go by that, like to get an arcade cabinet costs like a good couple hundred, or like I don't think it costs more than $1,000, but they're extremely
depends what
expensive.
you got, or the rarity of it.
But also like just to see that come down where it's like, yeah, they're still expensive, but people can still buy them and get them in their homes.
Yeah.
As like technically anyone can do it. Yeah, it's expensive, but it's definitely getting there. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
then at the end of the scale, what I found was the HTC Vive was even a little more money, but I couldn't find exact cost. So it has room scale tracking. With high-end Vive VR, you can physically walk around your environment and interact with your surroundings as if you're actually in them. This is achieved with room scaling tracking technology, the defining feature of the Vive, and that one that separates it from the competition. I believe I got that from their website. You can work up to a 16 by 16 foot square. It has handheld controller sensors, interactions with the game, tracks motion, external sensors. It has hardly any lag. And the headset isn't wireless. That was the downside. The Oculus Rift is wireless, I believe, and the Vive isn't. The HTC is wall mounted, and the controller has one pad that does everything. So I know when I was doing some research, when the guy liked the Oculus controller because they compared to like a video game controller where you have like a joystick and buttons, like a PS controller, versus the Vive where it's all like a pad based with a few buttons, and he didn't like how it felt, and just from being like a gamer and stuff and having experience like that, like one pad to do most things.
Sounds like the difference between like a mouse and using a trackpad. It's just.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting to see what each other are doing. I think the room scaling would be okay. Room scaling is pretty cool, but I could see it. It could be destructive. It could be not. We'll see where VR is going these days. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So I think that'll probably conclude week 3's podcast for Double Jump Reacts, and we will record another one next week. So we should have another one up. We should have 2 up back to back. So we will see you next time.